In the studio this morning, mate. We've been waiting for this day, haven't we? I think whenever you guys have won so far this year, we haven't had you the next day.
Yep.
It's good to see you, buddy. You got a smile on your dial.
Yeah, that was I mean, I don't want to overplay it, but it was a pretty big win in terms of my career as well. Like
great win.
To win away, backs against the wall. Brisbane were coming off a draw in a game they would have liked to win, and they got up to a 30-point lead, just under, I think. And no Viney, no lever for us. I get every team has players out, but it's a pretty special win. Yeah,
the way the game was going too. I mean, Brisbane looked like they had it well and truly in control, and you guys just you kept getting to sort of that 2-goal, 3-goal margin. Couldn't quite get there. Brisbane kicked away, but you stuck at it. It was a huge last quarter from you guys. You got there.
Yeah, we've done a bit of work in staying in games because we have had a couple of blowouts in recent times, especially in last quarters. And there was a bit of inspiration. Last year was a very similar game. Brisbane were in front majority of the game, 20, 30 points, and then Trent Rivers had a shot on the siren basically to win the game. So we knew that we can maybe have a good last shot at them in the last quarter. Yeah, it was pretty. When McKenna kicked his goal and put him back within 10 points, I was so calm and collected, which is rare when someone kicks a goal and the crowd's all jumping up and down because it just seemed like it was destined for us.
Yeah. Well, it was a great performance. Some of the older guys, Jake Melksham played a really good game. He kicked a bag of goals on Harris Andrews, who was a non-factor. So
sprayed him with water as well.
He
which
did.
Got a very angry reaction.
It was pretty chippy. You guys don't like each other. Does that go back to the Harrison Petty stuff? There seemed to be a lot of niggle in this game.
Yeah, and we played a lot of finals against each other in the last sort of 6 or 7 years. We played each other a lot. So there's always a bit of niggle in those games. I think Jake Melksham was doing story time after the game about some of the chats him and Harris were having. It seemed like a very funny conversation that those two were having from both parties. So no, he's in some serious form. We got 3 34-year-olds, myself, Jake, Steve, and May, and Tom McDonald, and then we got a big gap to sort of the 20-year-olds. And all 4 of those boys, I mean, I don't need to pump myself up, but
you played well, mate.
The other 3 boys are in some serious form.
If they stop kicking it to you, maybe there'd be a chance. You just in the key moments of the game, you just seem to swallow the pill. Yeah, it's always coming your way.
I was doing okay ruck-wise and clearance-wise throughout the game, but I wasn't really marking the ball like I normally do. And then the last 5 minutes, I was able to get a look at a few. And like I said, I was pretty keen to win that game. If the camera was on me when the siren went, I was pretty excited.
No, you were clunking them beautifully.
Yeah,
hey, a few sneaky beers in the
there?
rooms
I
after
love
the
it.
game.
What is
You
going
put
on?
the picture up on your Instagram, which was great. It's great to see. It's not a common thing anymore for AFL players after a game to pull out the esky.
Yep.
Whose idea was that?
Do you know what the main thing about that is media access and how much there is. You can't just be like the Channel 7 have an hour post Friday nights there in the rooms. Like there's nowhere to have a beer because you're just on camera the whole time. So Brisbane's actually quite a unique change room where there's so many different little rooms in there. But it's been a thing this year post our bigger break games.
Put a Negroni in a coffee cup. That's all you need to do after the game.
I actually do love a Negroni as well.
I'd get the runner sending me one out late in the last quarter. Great pictures. It was to watch it. It felt like the old firm was back in action. It looked really good. Really strong.
We've been pretty bullish on our form the last few weeks. Unfortunately, with Hawthorn, we just let it go in the last quarter. But we're pretty excited to where this season will take us now.
Hold that thought. We'll get beers to the studio during the break. Are we having a song?
In that little fridge right there, there's some.
Right, let's go. Skipped into the studio.
So good.
He does. He's up and about. So we'll bring you back down to earth a little bit. You created a massive controversy last week with your
That doesn't sound like me.
with your comments around Luke Jackson.
We were talking about Jesse Hogan.
Yeah, we were.
We
We were talking about guys that go to Perth and then come back because it's not all it's cracked up to be, and
Yep.
potentially a teammate of yours that went to Perth who might want to come back.
And that could have been Corey Wagner.
No.
You weren't talking about
because you
it.
That's
did
who
mention
I thought you were talking about, Corey Wagner.
It could have been
we always
multiple
use a-
different
Why is
people.
no one reporting
Oscar
back?
McDonald.
A backup ruckman, you said. You're getting
Well, Oscar
time,
is backup ruckman at the
and you're
moment.
off to Tassie probably in a year or two.
Yeah, maybe.
But in the
Yep.
interim,
Yep.
that's someone else there. So it's the Luke Jackson. So you were suggesting openly that Luke Jackson would be considered a fair swap for Cozzy.
That certainly wasn't anything that I was suggesting.
I think you were. I think you were using this program and using us to put forward something you'd like to see occur in the future.
No, look, I will clear it up. I certainly don't like myself speculating about other people in who are contracted. I think that's stupid. So I apologise if that was how it came across. It wasn't my intention. My intention was to have a little laugh. I appreciate that Luke has said that he's staying.
In your defence, you actually didn't even say his name.
No. And I just did then. So unfortunately,
so you don't need to apologise.
Yeah.
But
Yes, he does.
But come with me on this. So, just hypothetical, if he did want to come back, so he went over there he went over there to Fremantle, Luke Jackson, and the two ruck thing with Sean Darcy and Luke Jackson, it hasn't worked. And so he got clear air on the weekend to be the number one ruck and dominated. You know, played his best game of footy in a while. And then afterwards, Fremantle conceded, well, maybe, we should just play him in the ruck. It was like, well, oh, really? So there's that.
Till he leaves.
If he does come back, how did you guys make the two ruck thing work, and would it work again?
I'm probably not the one to ask because we butchered two rucks as well.
It worked. I mean, you won a premiership.
He did. He was a young kid then, but he was doing sort of 5 minutes in the ruck, 15 minutes forward. They're sort of splitting their time a bit more. I'm sort of against you a little bit, and it hasn't worked. It probably hasn't worked this year. But Sean and Luke have been a really good ruck combination in the last sort of 2 years. So I just think Sean came back from a pretty bad injury and maybe came back a week or two early, and this could be the blessing in disguise that he needs. And I'm presuming and hoping that they give them another chance because when they're up and going, I remember playing them in Alice Springs last year and they tore us a new one. So I'm not sure if I'm allowed to use that expression on air, but
no,
I
you
did.
are.
You just did.
But do you prefer
Triple M.
rucking solo? Because you've done that the majority. I mean, I know you've had a few backups, but most of the time,
I've got
you're in
time.
the ruck all the time. I think you played 87% of the game on the weekend.
I've got time for both. I've been involved with obviously Luke and then Brody, and then I've also had times where we haven't had anyone on the list other than myself.
And you had them both taken out and whacked. Haven't you? They've both gone missing in action.
Yeah.
You are, without doubt. You
People-
can do it. You can get
Smart.
rid of it.
People
assassin.
think I'm a dumb ruckman. My list manager comes up to me and goes, "What are your thoughts on this?" I'm like, "Yeah, bring him." I just know it's just going to extend my career. No, I'm joking.
So
and then when we have a real threat in Luke, I'm like, "No, we got to get rid of
Move
him.
him on.
We got to get rid of him."
to paraphrase, Luke Jackson will be back at Melbourne next year.
That's definitely not what I said. I said Oscar McDonald. We're looking at him, and hopefully we bring the brothers back together.
Hey, you know what's crazy? For all of the doom and gloom surrounding you guys so far this season, you're a game outside the 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a big game against Sydney because I think they're the exact same position as us.
In
So-
Melbourne or Sydney?
In Melbourne,
Oh, well,
3:20
that's-
on Sunday.
Chalk it up.
Got your
Back
game
to
again
the
this
point.
week.
He's got a game.
Yeah,
It's,
back to back.
Petrarca 200.
wow.
And
At the
he's got
G.
he's got there pretty quick. He played about 160 of them in a row before last year's incident.
I was walking, so we did the pre-game, and then I had to walk across the ground yesterday to get to the commentary box. And so I'm walking across, and I could see Max, and he was warming up with his team. And I wondered whether it was going to be that situation, where you're friends with a kid who lives down the street, and you hang out because you sort of live near each other. But then you get to school, and they don't really, they're a bit too cool. So I was wondering, is Max going to wave back if I wave to him when he's hanging out with Track and all the boys?
We're
And he-
friends now.
Yeah, he did. He
We're
waved.
friends.
He waved.
Oh,
We're friends.
that's
I was
nice.
up and about.
We're done here.
Yeah, I feel like
Descended into
unpacking your childhood there, Roo.
schoolboy stuff. Congratulations on the
I
win.
actually did a little this is bad for radio. I did like a little finger wave. It was like a real cute little thing.
Oh.
Like you're in love.
Like a
Hey, bestie.
Oh, jeez. Good to see. Well done, you two. Get a room. We'll see you later in the week.